There seems to be a lot of dislike in the hunting industry over this one thing. It's available to every single hunter, depending on what state you are, but only a small percentage of people actually use it. It's been called unethical hunting, but then a saving grace for other people. This thing can allow young hunters, youth, to get into hunting. It can allow beginners to get into hunting, even experts, along with people who can no longer draw back a bow. The controversial topic that we're talking about today is crossbows. I understand that not a lot of people are going to be about this video, or maybe some people will. It just depends on your perspective and maybe how you view crossbows, and I'd love to hear your side of it. But I just want to have a healthy conversation about what we all think about it and if there is a place for crossbows in the hunting world. One of the main things that we're going to talk about for one of the pros of crossbows is going to be the ease of accessibility, right? So even if you have no idea how to hunt, you can usually take like a weekend or something like that with somebody who knows how to use your crossbow, and they can train you how to hunt using that crossbow. Not all hunters have the ability to pull back 45 pounds on a bow, which in most states is the required poundage to hunt. The crossbow allows hunters to get into it a little bit easier with an easier learning curve than a compound bow. With that ease of the crossbow, it's also going to lead to a higher percentage kill shot, which all of us as hunters can agree, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to inflict any damage onto any deer or animal or anything like that. We're looking for a clean, effective kill. And the crossbow helps us do that. One of the other benefits that you could have for using your crossbow could be it could extend your hunting season. We've all been there to where it's mid-December, it's getting late, it's cold, you still have all your tags in your pocket, and sometimes a deer comes out and you're just too cold to pull back your bow. That crossbow kind of helps a little bit so that you don't have to pull that bow back, and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable in those cold winter months. So one of the other misconceptions about crossbows could be the misunderstanding of how crossbow season even works. So some hunters will say that if you use a crossbow and you're not disabled or you're not a youth, it's considered cheating. Okay, maybe that might be your perspective, but let's just take a second and realize that like the hunting world evolves. Like it's going to get better each and every year. There's new rules, there's new regulations for everything. So even though you think that that's cheating, that illegally is not the case. At one point in time, compound bows were not a thing. So those gradually had to be integrated into the hunting world. So maybe some of the traditional bow hunters might think that using a compound bow could be cheating. So you have to kind of realize that and understand that things are going to get better over time, especially with our technology, and crossbows is just one of those things. While we're on that topic too, some people consider it cheating, some people consider it not the same. There's a big percentage of hunters out there that just like to hunt, and they just don't have a ton of time. They don't have leases, they don't have fancy equipment or anything like that. They can take their crossbow and go out there and not have to practice year round, and again, increase their likelihood of harvesting a deer. So they're able to take that crossbow and just use it as another tool to harvest a deer. So instead of just be limited to using a compound bow, they're able to take that crossbow and again, use it as another tool to go hunting. This is the meat and potatoes of the video, basically, of just why do people even care about crossbow hunting? If you want to use compound bows, that's great. If you want to use a rifle, that's great. If you want to use a crossbow, that's great. Ultimately, us all as hunters, we have to draw some sort of line in the sand of where we stand. That's cool, I get it. But you shouldn't be able to give another person a hard time because of what they choose to do. And that's okay. Like you can give people a hard time, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like you can't knock them for it. If that's the way that they like to do it, it's legal, it's ethical. There's really nothing you can do about it. One of the big things is to get more people into the sport. Using a crossbow can be cool, can be considered different than what most people see as traditional hunting, archery hunting, that kind of stuff. And right now, that's exactly what we need in our sport. Hunting numbers are declining, and crossbows could be a way to get more people into the sport. That's ultimately what we should be doing as hunters, is cultivating more people into this because of the sport that we love so much. We should be able to get the next generation into it so that it matters further down the road so it doesn't diminish. We can't afford to alienate hunters just because the landscape changes. The future of hunting depends on growing that base of hunters for generations to come. More hunters mean more dollars for wildlife conservation and ultimately more money that we can put back into the sport.